Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video for AIlimit. My name is Ventus. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to get the Red Deer Katana. The Red Deer Katana is one of the weapons used by the Hunter of Bladers, who is later found out to be Ursula, the Hunter of Bladers. To get the Red Deer Katana, you must defeat Ursula twice, once where she's presented as just the Hunter of Bladers, and later on as a hidden boss called Ursula, the Hunter of Bladers, where she has a second form that's named Ursula the Mutated. Once you defeat her, you can get her nucleus and then take it to Adremalech, the robot, in a temporary campsite and trade it for either the Red Deer or Mercy. Both of them are katanas. Now, to get both weapons, you need to defeat Ursula the Mutated again in a new game plus to get another copy of her nucleus to trade. Now, really quickly, before I show you how to beat Ursula in all her forms, be sure to do me a favor and sub to the channel with notifications turned on, and also like the video. To fight Ursula's first form, you must make it to the Sewer Town North and the Hunting Ground branch. In this fight, Ursula has two phases, single katana and dual wield katana. Before this fight, you should prepare by having a decent amount of mud balls and salted mud balls, as well as mini bombs, envenom needles, magnetic surges, and possibly phosphorus darts. The envenom needles are an absolute must. For a weapon, I suggest the envenom blade so you can poison her and deal damage over time to help defeat her faster while she's in her second phase with the dual wield katanas. For a spell, use the missile barrage. And for a main seal, use whatever you have that's leveled up, but make sure you equip fire protection, normal seals, as well as physical protection. In her first form, she has multiple attacks, most of which can be reflected by the counter field ability, others should be dodged. A few of her attacks allow you direct counter attacks. Number 1, she will usually start out by throwing her darts at you. Whenever she throws the darts, dodge twice, back to back without delay. It doesn't matter really which direction you dodge. Most of the time after she throws her darts, she will follow up by a teleporting strike. If you dodge the second time in anticipation, you can get a counterattack on her. Number 2, another attack she has is a straightforward teleport strike without throwing any darts beforehand. This has an extremely fast startup time and execution. You can either dodge this to the left or right or use your counter field ability. Either way, you can get a counterattack directly afterwards. Number 3, another attack she does has two variations, but both are countered in the same way with the same timing. In one version, she jumps into the air and does a series of spins that ends in a downward sword strike. Use the counter field as soon as she's done spinning and seems to kind of float in midair. This will knock her back and give you an opening for a counterattack. The second variation of this attack, she jumps and floats towards you. When she does this, just wait for her to get close to you, then use the counter field ability and counterattack her. On both of these attacks, you can almost bait them out by being close to her. It's during these attacks that she's most vulnerable because after you use the counter field enough times, she will become stunned directly after. It's during this time that I suggest using the Envenom Blade special skill and try and poison her. If you've been attacking her with the Envenom Blade the entire time, this will greatly bring up her poison status and will more than likely result in her becoming poisoned, and she will start to take damage over time. Number 4, next she has an attack where she sheathes her blade and moves backwards, then rapidly dashes at you with a wide fire slash. You can tell when she's about to dash because of her left foot. It does a small step right before she dashes. When you see her foot do that preparatory step, that's when you should dodge to the right. Afterwards, you can counterattack her, but beware, sometimes she will counterattack your counterattack. If she does, or not, always dodge backwards after hitting her one time. Number 5, her final attack in first form is a rushing dash with her sword on fire where she slams it on the ground for an AoE explosion. She has a slow startup time for this skill, giving you a chance to prepare. Usually what I do is just dodge backwards away from her so that I'm out of reach of the attack, then follow up by dashing into her after the attack hits the ground to get a counterattack. So this is her second phase. After you get her down to half health, she will stop attacking and pull out her second katana and start dual wielding. The second she does this, use the spell Missile Barrage twice if you can, and then follow it up by all 5 of your mini bombs, followed by all 5 magnetic surges, followed by all 10 envenom needles. Directly after that, switch your ability from the counter field to the thunder step. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the full gameplay of me defeating her second phase and winning the fight. My live stream didn't process this part of the stream for me to record it and show you, but essentially what I did to win this part of the fight was use Thunderstep's ability to leave an explosive shadow clone when you perfect dodge. After each perfect dodge, I would attack her once or twice, never 3 times. She should be so weak from all the thrown items and the poisoning that it should only take a few times of this to finish her off. Defeating her will give you her mask. The next time you see her will be in the Outer Wall ruins in the Ancient Machine Works. Now, if you haven't reached that area yet, please bookmark this video and come back for instructions on how to deal with her when you get there. Now, if you're already there, this is how to find her and how to defeat her. When you get to the Assembly Hall branch in Ancient Machine Works, you can sort of skip this area and get to her, but it's better to deal with the giant robot first by destroying each of the conduits that keep it powered. Here are the conduit locations. Now, I've defeated all the enemies in the area just to show you easily where the conduits are. Once you destroy the conduits and the giant robot is dealt with, take this route starting from the Assembly Hall branch to get to the drop section. Now, you're going to need a high life for this drop section because Once you destroy the conduits and the giant robot is dealt with, take this route starting from the Assembly Hall branch to get to the drop section. You will need a high life, 30 or better, to survive the drops to get to the Research Center branch and the underground lab where Ursula can be found, because you're going to have to fall down and take damage. Alright, here's the jump section. I have my life stat leveled up to about 33 at the time that I made this video clip, so get yours to above 30 to survive the jumps. There are 2 pipes close to each other that you need to jump to. This panel hanging off the sides lets you know where you have to jump from. Think of it as a diving board. You'll need to do a running jump from the side. Once you get to the pipe, heal, then do another weird sideways running jump to the pipe on the left into the wall that's above the open door that you're going to need to go through. Heal from that second jump, then do another running jump down to the platform in front of the door. Once you go through the doors, head to the elevator and then find your way to the Research Center branch room where you'll find the observation record. From here, exit the room and head to the underground lab where you'll fight Ursula one last time. To prepare for this fight, I suggest you level up high enough to use the spell Ethereal Beam. You'll need a 36 in your spirit. You can get it from Milaire's Spell Workshop in the temporary campsite. You'll need Persephone's Nucleus to purchase it. For armor, wear something with high fire protection, and the same goes for normal seals. Use fire protection, but this time, if you have it, bring the normal seal called Scattered Stars. When you have this normal seal on, using the counter field no longer consumes sync rate, which is going to be huge for the fight with her final form. Again, load up on all of those tacticals: mud balls, salted mud balls, envenomed needles, mini bombs, and magnetic surges. This time she has a few slightly different attacks for her first phase, which are pretty much the same as the first time you fought her. She still throws darts followed by a teleport slash. She still has the straightforward teleport slash. She still sheathes her blade and dashes at you, except this time when she slashes with her sword, the arc is wider and more fiery, so you have to take care not to dash too far away from her or you'll get hit by the fire. She still does the spinning flips to sword strike that can be reflected with the counter field. When you start this fight, I suggest going with your magic attack first to take a nice chunk of her health off. The spell I'm using in this clip is the Ethereal Beam, and it actually melts her health bar. When you do enough damage to her in her first phase, she will pull out her second katana, and just like before, as soon as she goes into that animation, blast her with magic. Ethereal Beam if you have it, if not, Missile Barrage will work, just as long as you use something back to back that will deal massive damage to her. And just like before, as soon as you're done with the magic attacks, throw everything at her. 10 envenomed needles, 5 mini bombs, 5 magnetic surges, anything that you have that will get her health down quickly. When you're done throwing stuff, switch over to the Thunder Step and start dodging her attacks, because she has one attack that will stab you and deal life-threatening damage, so avoid her attacks at all costs and attack her when she gets stunned by the lightning shadow clones or finishes with a spinning fire attack. Also, when you have enough sync to use a magic attack, just use it. They usually stun her and stop her from attacking. The good news here is that you don't have to really try hard to attack her when she pulls out her second katana. You can really focus on dodging, because after a little bit of time goes by, she will put her second katana away and resume her original form with one katana, and you can deal damage again with her more predictable attacks. Once you get her life bar all the way down, she will mutate and she gets brand new attacks. They are strong and flashy, but most of them are easily reflected with counterfield, while others are just so easy to see coming that you can just evade them. It's worth mentioning here that I got pretty lucky on this run and caught her against the wall after interrupting one of her attacks while she had her 2 katanas out, and I got multiple slashes on her for free. So when she does switch to her mutated form, press options and switch your armor around to something that is more resistant to piercing damage, because that's what most of her attacks are going to be, that and fire. I used the Hunter's armor because it has the highest resistance to piercing with a rating of 60. Now if you've got a magic spell ready to go after her cutscene transformation, use it before she can attack you. Now of the new attacks she gets, here are 2 that you can easily reflect. She leaps into the air and comes down slowly with a hammer fist. Reflect this by tapping the button as soon as she gets right above your head. The window is tight, so your timing has to be near perfect. Once you do, you have an opportunity to counterattack. Another attack that you can easily reflect is when she swings her mutated arm from left to right and back again. Whenever the arm is about to make contact with your character, tap to reflect and knock her back and go for a counterattack. Another similar attack to that, she'll rush in with a fiery sword slash, but view it as another horizontal attack that can be interrupted with counterfield as soon as her arm or sword is about to make contact with your body. Now for the attacks that can be easily avoided. The first one is where she slams her mutated fist along the ground and shoots out a wave of fire at you. Simply wait and watch the fist, and as soon as it's coming down, dodge left or right twice, back to back. Then there's the one where she holds her head and starts shooting ethereal beams out all around. These are aimless and you can back away safely. When she does this, I suggest either healing or using a magic attack or throw a tactical. And the final attack that can be avoided is where she stands and pounds the ground with the mutated fist and makes the area around her explode with an AoE fire attack. Just back away from this as quickly as possible. You defeat her in this form by a series of counterattacks with counterfield, and whenever your magic attacks are ready to fire, do that. Once you defeat her, you'll get her armor, the Blade Huntress attire, and then after some dialogue, you'll finish her off and get her nucleus. Take it to the robot in the temporary campsite and trade it for the Red Deer Katana. If this video was helpful, you can show me your thanks by giving the video a like. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. For more guides like this one, head to my channel and check out my playlist for AIlimit. My name is Ventus. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.